What is going on YouTube? It is Primitive here, and today I'm going to be bringing you another locals match. Today we are going to be having the red-green hybrid on the left, and on the right we're going to be having the Cherubimon deck with the yellow base. Now, some of these lists have been playing a purple base, some of them have been playing a yellow base. I am a fan of the yellow base just because you get to play cards like the Agumon or the Salamon, which allow you to have extra aggression and defensive power, so we'll have to see how this plays out. They also have the Cutemon in the list, which is going to be decently impactful in this matchup because the Cutemon is going to stop the JP from reducing the cost going into a champion. It's also going to stop the reduction of cost when going into the Rhino Kabuterimon. So just a overall good card in the hybrid meta right now, but especially very strong in this matchup because it's very dependent on the Ancient Beetlemon in this list. So if you can slow the chances of them getting up to that by at least a turn, then you're going to have a lot better chance of being able to take care of it. So turn one, we saw the red-green hybrid actually just pass turn after playing the Flamemon, and then this turn they went in with the Atomic Inferno on the Flamemon and then just hard play the Beetlemon, and the Cherubimon player able to retaliate with some rookies of their own, going to Digivolve into the Metal Kabuterimon, which is going to suspend the Cutemon and then can attack over the Cutemon, which is going to be very helpful because, like I said, it is a card that is decently impactful in the matchup. Pokemon here gonna double hit, gonna be able to grab the Rhino Kabuterimon as well as the Mimi. Had options of what tamers they wanted to grab there, but want to get the memory tamer so that way you can start to get a little bit more going. Salamon's gonna swing in here, hits JP, so that's not what you wanted to see as the Cherubimon player. That gives them a lot of avenues to play now. They will be able to Digivolve up on top of there, and then they have the Rhino in hand, so if they have the Ancient Beetle, they could just go ahead and next turn swing over the Salamon, get the piercing and the trashing of the security, and overall just have a pretty good board. After that, the Cherubimon deck's going to have a pretty hard time of getting rid of Ancient Beetlemon once it's on the board. One thing to note in this matchup is that when Cherubimon goes up, it does delete Digimon level 4 or lower, which is going to be a lot of cards in this list because most of your Digimon are going to be chilling as champion or lower unless you're intending to go up into your Mega. You normally don't go into Ultimate and just leave it there, so if they do go up into their Cherubimon, they will be able to pop multiple Digimon on the board, be able to punish the opponent for going wide. So I will imagine that we're going to be seeing a lot of swinging in from the green player here. Blinding Ray going to trash the top so that way they can Digivolve up. Not tapping the Kari there to gain an extra memory, that is interesting. So they're not going up into the Rihimon. They are just going to go up into the Rebellimon here. So going to be able to trash one to gain blocker and retaliation, but also, being able to tap the Kari there would have put the opponent at 2 instead of 3. They don't have the memory tamer, so I don't know if they were just trying to save it for this turn and make it so that the opponent has less resources to play around, but no matter what, your opponent would be at 2 memory here, and so no matter what, they wouldn't be able to Digivolve into Rhino and then Digivolve into the Ancient Beetlemon. And actually, as we see here, they have to Digivolve into the Rhinomon for 3 because they don't have a tamer underneath, and so just right there showing that tapping the Kari is actually going to make it so they wouldn't have been able to do that. They would have had to Digivolve their Arbomon on top first, that way they could gain the memory off of the Bokomon, which we saw them do now, but they're using that one extra memory to play the Thunder Laser, and this pretty much could have all been avoided just by tapping the Kari. There would have been a lot less going down. Tapped the Rebellimon so that way they don't have the blocker, and then this way they can just start swinging in, and then they can swing in with the Bokomon for game right there. So tapping the Kari did definitely matter right there. It gave the opponent the ability to play that Thunder Cannon, so that way they were able to suspend the Rebellimon, make it so there was no blockers on the board, and the red-green hybrid is just going to go ahead, be aggressive and going for game. Now they're going to be going first here, going to go ahead and play out the Bokomon so you can search out. They have Toy Agumon in the back, which is very interesting, a card that I haven't seen very often in these red-green hybrids, if seeing them at all. I have really just been seeing things like the hybrids with the Flamemons or the Gaussmons and the Guilmons. No, just 2-drop vanilla level 3 with the Toy Agumon, so it's a very interesting tech. Gives it a little bit more aggression if you do want to be hard playing 2-drops here. Gonna go with the Bokomon, can grab the Loimon and the Analog there, and the Analog played earlier did grab Neo Devi. Now this event did allow mulligans and sideboarding because this is what we were testing for the Digifest rules, so the opponent did actually side in that Neo Devimon there, and that is a tech that is pretty annoying in these tamer based decks because if you can get it out there, you're essentially paying 3 extra for each tamer that you play, which is going to greatly impact your turns. And now we have the Cutemon out here as well, so we may see the Neo Devimon coming out here soon. The combination of the Neo Devi and the Cutemon is going to put a lot of pressure on the red-green hybrid and really slow down a lot of their plays, making it so they can't do as much just because they're not going to be able to Digivolve for 1 on top of JP. They're not going to be able to Digivolve for 1 into the Rhino, and the Neo Devi would make it so they wouldn't be able to play out Memory Tamers, but you would have to give your opponent a lot of memory by playing the Neo Devi, so they are just going to go ahead and play down the mat. Can get cards out of their trash, but also no more choking, going to be at 3 no matter what, and having that purple tamer on board for whenever they want to start to build up into their Rihimons and maybe go into Cherubi, which is something we haven't seen yet. The red-green hybrid list has been doing very well at controlling what the purple player is doing and not letting them get too much there. A little bit confusion there with the JP there. You can't Digivolve for 1 on the JP because the Cutemon is stopping the reduction, so instead of gaining the memory there, they are paying 2 and then gaining 2 with the Bokomon, going back to 3 memory there, so just fixing up that memory count. Metal Kabuteru, when coming out, of course, going to be able to suspend a 6k or less. You're going to be wanting to suspend that Cutemon so we can get rid of it. Gonna go with the double Inferno with the piercing check here, going to be going for 3 checks at, I believe that is 12. And we're going to hit the Cherubimon there, so Cherubimon doing something from the grave, but not yet coming out on the board, and now the purple player is starting to fall very far behind. We're really seeing the aggression of the red-green hybrid. The opponent's already only at 1 security check on the board. You have the Bokomon on field with the Flamemon in the back and the JP as an ability to go up into a hybrid, so your opponent's going to have to essentially set up a blocker of some sort while also clearing the board, or they're going to have to recover, but I don't believe this list is playing the Lucamon. They do have the yellow package at the bottom, but it's more so for cards like the Cutemon and the Salamon, but we see the purple player start to get a little bit aggressive right there, swinging in with the Rihimon, but it does hit the Ancient Beetlemon, so it's going to go down, so losing a lot of their progression. Going to get the on-deletion effect to bring back the mat, which I don't think is going to matter too much. Analog Boy there a little bit late on the tap, but it looks like the opponent is going to allow it, so they'll go up to 3. They'll be able to Digivolve up into another hybrid, but unless they're going into something like another Rebellimon here, I think it might just be a little bit too late. There's just too much aggression that's going to be coming from the red-green hybrid here. With the Cutemon gone, putting them at 1 is not going to be enough because you're going to be able to reduce the Digivolution by 1 with the JP, so no matter what, you'll be able to go up into your champion for 1, even if you get rid of the Bokomon, and if you don't get rid of the Bokomon, then it doesn't matter no matter what, because they're going to be able to gain memory. So as of right now, like I said, I think you really need to find a way to get up into blocker while also clearing the Bokomon. I think the only real way to do that is going into Rebellimon and then going into Cherubi, which would require 2 Jack Raids in hand to be played to go back up to 3, and I don't think that's going to be happening here, so we're going to go up into the Rihimon for 1. What are they going to go for here? They could go in for the Cherubi. That would put the opponent at 4. You would have no blockers on the board, and then your opponent would just swing with the Flamemon, and then no matter what, you go down to a hybrid. You would just have to hope that your opponent doesn't have a hybrid. Actually showing that the red-green player right there is playing the Argomon that's down to 1, or restricted down to 1, which I don't know if I fully understand. You could play the Blossomon, which will be very much the same, but the inheritable on this card isn't going to matter because we are playing the red base, so very interesting that they are playing that tech choice here. But we do see the Cherubimon come up. The Cherubimon is going to pop the Bokomon, but I think that's just going to be game. We're going to swing with the Flamemon there. It does go down to the Cutemon, and then they show the Metal Kabuterimon, and the Metal Kabuterimon does go in for game. So the red-green hybrid once again taking a very dominant, aggressive win there, really showing time and time again how good this deck is, being able to be very aggressive, being able to control the board really well and get just so many checks in early. The purple player just fell behind aggressive-wise very early in the game. Things like the Atomic Furno really came in pretty early and just showed that Atomic Furno does not have to be a game ender. It can be a card that you can play early to mid game and just give yourself a really good advantage for the late game. And then the hybrid's able to come in through at the end of the game to always be able to clean it up, which is going to be a staple in this format with all the hybrids. But with that being said, if you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe because I'm going to be bringing you even more BT7 content, including matches and deck profiles. So I will see you all next time. I hope you have a fantastic day. Peace out.